Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're going to do some healing tonight using a meditation that we use, but we're going to take it to the next level. When we go through and we practice these meditations, we're kind of prepping the body, prepping the emotions, prepping the energy body to be able to handle the process, get used to the process, and establish like patterns in the body, right? So now that we've kind of gone through and done that, let's take it to the next level. So the pattern that we're going to be working helps to diminish dysregulation in the nervous system, which means your stress response, but then your stress response as it generates negative emotion, right? So it's doing two things. It's diminishing the stress response so that we're not as quick to get stressed out or get agitated or things like that. And then when we do get stressed out and we do get agitated and we're there for a period of time, that part of the nervous system starts to generate emotion to motivate the body to take some sort of action, right? So if it's going into fight flight, if it's going to fight, we tend to generate more anger. And if we're going to run or for flight, we're going to have more fear or more anxiety, right? And so these emotions are being generated to help motivate the body to take some sort of action. They're not necessarily thinking things out like we do with our mind. It's just a response in the body. So when we look at why don't we feel good or why don't we have a good sense of well-being or why do we have these negative interactions with people or even when we sit down to meditate, why do I have such a hard time? Some of it is both the stress response and the dysregulation that generates these lower emotions. The difficulty is that we think that the emotions are associated with the mind or that we're just generating these emotions independently of the body, when really they're a byproduct of the body, right? So we want to shift the state of the body. So a lot of times when we do a prayer or we do healing, we put our awareness on the heart, right? The center of our chest, and then we reflect on an area of healing or a prayer you'd like to offer up. Now, if you have an area of healing, you can be aware of your body. You could be aware of, if there's a relationship, an interaction, a thing at work, something like that. It can be in the body or outside the body. And then the prayer would be whatever prayer you would like to offer up, right? You also can do it with your awareness on your heart. So when we reflect at first, we reflect on the nature of the prayer or the nature of what we'd like to heal. Then we come to the front heart, right? So let's do that. Or let's reflect on the area of healing or the prayer. So you can do it with your eyes open or your eyes closed. Now, your awareness is on your heart, your front heart. Continue to think of that area of healing or that prayer, and your awareness is on the front heart. Okay, so let's let that go for a moment. So let's think of the front heart as the perceiver, right? We think something in our mind, but for it to get integrated, we have to be able to perceive it with the heart, right? The heart is the center for imagination. And so even sometimes when we think something in the mind, we have a little bit of a disconnected way of thinking about it. The mind and body aren't in sync. When we genuinely perceive something, the heart perceives it and then sends the messages to the brain. So if we don't perceive something in the heart, we're perceiving more of a story rather than the reality of something, right? The true nature of something. So when we're holding that area of healing or we're holding that prayer, first we're holding it on the heart so that we're listening to it. The body is listening to it, the mind is receiving the messages. It's going deeper. It's not external, it's starting to work its way in, right? Then from the front heart, it's the perceiver or the listener, right? Then it moves to the back heart. Now, the back heart takes it and goes, let's clean this up. Let's clean up all the inaccuracies. Let's clean up the fear. Let's clean up the anger. Let's clean up all those influences from past experiences. Let's clean this up so when we give the message to the brain, right, it's it's a little bit more clear. It's a little bit more accurate, right? So when we first perceive our prayer, we're perceiving it, we're hearing it, and then we move it to the back and it gets cleaned up so that it becomes more accurate. And then it goes up to the brain and then it becomes something that engages our thought processes. Now, what we usually do is we strengthen this aspect even more so, right? So we're going to do it and then we're going to do it again with a mantra, right? So think of that area of healing or that prayer. Your awareness is on your front heart, the center of your chest. Now you're letting the prayer or the area of healing go, and you're moving your awareness to the back heart, that area between your shoulder blades. After you sit with your awareness on the back heart, without doing anything else, energy is already starting to go up to the brain, right? It's starting to elevate into the mind. But we want to even take it deeper into the body, right? So from the back heart, we go down to our navel. And our awareness is on the navel. You don't have to think of the prayer or the area of healing anymore. You just keep your awareness on the navel. And as we keep our awareness on the navel, it makes a stronger imprint on the mind, right? It really drives down that clear perception and drives it deeper into the mind. So after we go from the navel, then we go to the crown. Okay. So again, we perceive it, then it goes to the back heart where it's cleaned up. The inaccurate perceptions, the stress, the fears, the past experiences, the projections from other people, it's getting purified, right? And then it's already starting to move up into the mind. But then we take it down to the navel, right? And it makes it even stronger, makes it a much stronger imprint on the mind, right? It makes the mind really like engage, right? So if you think of the idea of what we're talking about, what you're doing by purifying the perception is you're getting closer to truth. And when we get closer to truth, truth is another way of saying light. Light and truth really kind of are the same thing. So when we go through and we do this meditation or we do this practice, we're calming down the nervous system, we're calming down the dysregulation, and we're cultivating the light or walking within the light, right? Now, we can take this a step further, right? So again, your awareness is on the front heart, and together we're going to chant Om, A-U-M, Om. Now, you could do this silently in your mind, or you can do it out loud. You're going to keep your awareness on the front heart, and let's just gently say it together. Ready? Om. 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 So when we say the mantra, our awareness is on the front heart. And when we stop, let's move our awareness to the back heart. So your awareness is on the back heart. Again, let's come back to the front heart. Om. 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 Your awareness is on your back heart, that area between your shoulder blades. Now, move your awareness to your navel. And then move your awareness to the crown, the very top of your head. Your awareness is on your crown. Just let that go. Okay. I mean, we're just doing a practice run. And how does that feel? How did that feel to you? Strong. Yeah. Okay. So now, when we chant, like here we're chanting Om, when we chant, there's an energy that comes through the word. Think of the word as like a vessel, and there's a kind of energy that comes through it, right? So when we chant, we're beginning to draw in a certain kind of energy, or you could say you're shifting into a kind of energy. Now, the potency for the mantra, right? The potency for the mantra depends on the space or the gap between the words. So at first, you say the words close together, like you go om, 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 right? But then as time goes by, you start increasing the space or the gap between the words, right? In that space or in that gap, that's where more light comes in, right? So the technique is as you start to increase the gap or the space, you go Om. When you're saying the mantra, your awareness is on the heart. When you have the gap, you go to the back heart. And then when you go back and you go, okay, Om, front heart, gap, that stillness, back heart. And then Om with awareness on the front heart. And then gap, awareness on the back heart. So let's play with that. Okay. Ready? Awareness is on your front heart. Om. Move your awareness to the back heart. Back to the front heart. Om. Back heart. Front heart. Om. Back heart. Front heart. Om. Back heart. Again, front heart. Om. Back heart. Move your awareness to your navel. Your awareness is on your crown. You're just being still, being aware, and you're letting go. Okay, so notice how you feel. Okay, so that was kind of a practice run, and you notice it felt pretty good, right? Yeah, think about like your mind. A lot of times the mind goes pretty quiet. and you really are starting to shift over to the intuitive part of the mind. And it's very regulating to an area in the brain called the thalamus. And by going through and doing that, it helps to open up intuition, but it helps to regulate the aspects of the nervous system, right? So we're going to do it in real time in the Mystic Vibration class, which we're going to slide over to right now. We're posting the link so that you can just join us over there. And thanks for being on the journey with us. From all of us at Astara, we just want you to know we love you guys. Take care.